I want to talk about a simple topic, right? I want to talk about a simple topic. And the topic relates to never giving up. I'm currently busy with my PhD in environmental health. It's been a long journey, a long couple of months, in fact, because I'm still at proposal stage. Hasn't been approved. It's been a roller coaster, back and forth. But I think there's some principles that I want to share that relate to never giving up. And these are the type of principles that you can apply in any area of your life, not only when it comes to studies where you've been pushed to the limit, you've given up hours, you've tried to understand certain new areas that almost give you imposter syndrome, but you still steadfastly worked hard and gave it your all. And the result that comes is now no longer dependent on you, because it's now gotten to a point where it's dependent on the panel that will be reviewing your proposal so that it can go to the next stage and end up being approved. That way you can basically start with your study when it gets to that particular point. And the principles that I am going to share relate not only, as I'm saying, to the studying element, but any area of your life. You know that you've been eating junk. You know that you've been wasting time on social media instead of doing things that are a priority for you. You know that you've been procrastinating. You know that you haven't been giving it your all at work. And now you're seeing certain consequences that do not favor your journey. Let me give you a couple of steps that are meant to help you as you are progressing and fighting for progress in your life. First and foremost, accept that there will be challenges. That's right. Accept that you'll fail along the way, but you can't give up. You need to get up, you need to fight, you need to dust yourself off. You need to put on those socks once more, and then you need to get back on track. Failing is a part of the process, it's a part of the journey. But it's up to you to not live in that squalor of failure. It's up to you to not settle in that dominion of challenges, of missteps, of blockages, of red tape. It's up to you to not give up. So the first step is to accept the situation when challenges arise, then try to find solutions for those challenges. The second thing that you must do is remind yourself of your why. Why did you start on that specific journey? I started my PhD because, number one, I do have for the longest time actually wanted to be called a doctor. For the longest time, right? That goes beyond any impact. That's just the vanity metric of the title. I like the title. And I told my lecturer, at the time it was Miss Pule Jadi, so I'm not sure right now what her title is, whether it's now doctor, whether it's now professor, I am not sure. But within my undergrads, I was a top performing student, and I told her that my journey and trajectory that I'm picturing is that of ending up as Dr. Kholane, right? In fact, Professor Kholane. That ambition of being a professor, the more I learned what it entailed, fizzled out. But the one of being a doctor has never, ever, ever even diminished, even in the slightest. It may have been delayed over the years. I mean, it has been 15 years since I graduated from my undergrad. 15 years. I'm turning 37 this year. And I told my lecturer, possibly 17 years back in first year, that my journey and trajectory is to that of being a doctor. So that metric, as vanity metric wise as it is, it has been a priority as to why I wanted to become a doctor. But ultimately, the why is that there is that impactful part or aspect that I want to add to it. It's important to me to have an impact. It's important to me for my PhD to mean something and for it to not just end up on paper. Imagine designing a framework that can be used nationally, provincial level, local municipality level, national level. It imagine it being integrated into policy, imagine it being recognized, right? So that's a big deal. And I can't for now, because it's at proposal stage, give you the nitty gritties or the details around my PhD, but I can mention that I do want it to have meaning. I do want it to have impact and influence, and for a specific direction to be driven for the career that I'm in. So it doesn't only end at that vanity metric aspect. So my why should constantly remind me of my journey. Now ask yourself, you are morbidly obese, or you are just slightly obese, you are above your BMI, you are not happy with your body, you need to tone down. There's a lot of work that gets you to where you need to be. So you need to remind yourself why. Why do you want to lose the weight? Because you're obese, because it's affecting your health, because you can't perform in bed and it's affecting your libido, because you are forever fatigued, because you long to actually be proud of what you see in the mirror. There are a plethora or multiple reasons why you can justify why you look and feel the way that you feel. And that's actually quite critical. That's actually quite important. So remind yourself of your why. If you're saving money, remind yourself, why am I saving this particular money? To what end? What is it do I want to achieve by actually saving this particular money? So remind yourself why it is you started on that journey, and that will guide you into never giving up. It's critical, it's important, it's fundamental, and it'll form the basis and foundation for why you won't give up, honestly and thoroughly. Hey, Nana.
Hey, Daddy.
Hey, baby.
Just need to fix something.
Okay, no problem, my babe.
Sorry for disturbing.
No worries, my babe. Then the next thing is that you need to burn the midnight oil. What does that entail? That entails you working hard. That entails you putting in the effort. That entails you putting your head down, as a Jewish mentor of mine once told us, back when we had started a business and it was struggling and we didn't know what to do, and we started distracting ourselves with politics, we started judging ourselves, we started comparing ourselves with some of our peers within the business sector and spectrum, and he just said, put your head down and work. Put your head down and work. And that was important, because through that, we're able to get out of that rut. We're able to get out of that redundancy. And we poignantly focused. But we had to work hard. We had to make necessary sacrifices. Because if you don't do that, then it becomes easier for you to give up. So burn that midnight oil, put in that extra effort, and the results slowly but surely will start showing. Slowly but surely will start reflecting the effort and hard work that you've actually put in. The next thing, be consistent. Honestly, be consistent, because those minute steps, those small steps, those intricate details, those day by day contributions that you make, honestly, they make a huge difference, a huge impact, and you won't see them straight away. If we're talking straight facts, you won't see them straight away, but with time, they will reflect. With time, you'll start thinking differently. You start seeing the world around you differently. You'll start treating people around you differently. Why? Because you've been disciplined and consistently on your path day by day, making sure that you never give up. It's fundamental. It's critical, but it has to be done. Consistency comes from laying that one brick at a time. Before you can build the entire wall, one brick at a time. From one brick, you end up with an entire line or entire row. From that row, you end up with a block. From that block, you end up with an entire side or the entire wall built. But you need to start one brick at a time, and you need to lay that foundation so that you are consistent, you are disciplined, and you are focused. You are focused, because small steps are critical for you to get to that journey. Running a marathon, as an example, it's critical that you start pacing yourself with one step at a time until you get to the destination. So the focus at a particular point in time should not be the destination. The focus should actually be what? It should be the effort, that one step at a time, and the built-in momentum that you start getting. Whether you like it or not, it will benefit you to be more consistent. So effortlessly never give up, as much as it will take much effort for you to not give up. It's critical, it's important. Now back to basics. Have a plan. If you fail to plan, as they say, you plan to fail. It may just be a saying, a nice idiom, a nice rhythmic thing to say, but at the end of the day, it's true. In any organization, in any element where you may be out of your depth or whatever the circumstance, it's critical that you plan. It's critical that you put pen to paper, or if you're more familiar with the technological revolution, you type, you journal, you plan. You plan, because that'll give you a sense of direction. And when you are lost, you go back to the plan, you revisit the plan. Through revisiting your plan, you'll be able to be redirected back on your mission, and then it will make it easier for you to not give up. So a plan is important and it's solid. When you plan, you don't plan because everything is already fitting in place. You plan for the eventualities that you don't foresee, the circumstances that you don't foresee. So a plan is critically important, and it's fundamental. It's pivotal. It's pivotal that you have a plan from the very beginning. You structure your work. You break down your work into formidable pieces, but manageable pieces, so that there is direction, so that you're steering your ship in the right way. Planning is the foundation. Planning is critical. So by planning, it will help you not to give up. Planning will enhance your resilience, your resistance to giving up, your resistance to change when change does not suit you, but also the flexibility and adaptability when things do change, and that change is inevitable, or that change actually suits you in that moment. So yes, you have to not give up, and it is up to you to not give up. Another example, in reliance or with reference to my PhD, is that I had to have a year plan in terms of the PhD, and the plan had to extend beyond the year up until completion, where you break down each chapter and section of your PhD, so that by the time you reach where you need to reach, you are able to reflect, look back, see what lessons were working in your favor and what failures worked against you at the time that it was happening, and the challenges, but of course worked for you because of what you were able to grasp, what you were able to learn, what you are able to use as a foundation for adapting, acclimatizing, and assimilating to whatever circumstance and situation that you may have. Another point which is critically and fundamentally important is learn from others. Learn from others' failures, learn from others' wins. Important. Through the failures, you'll get the lessons. Through the wins, you'll get the inspiration, the motivation, and it will redirect you back to changing in a positive light. So again, it's very, very, very key. It's very, very important for you to not give up. Garner inspiration from others. Get that motivation, that boost that you may need from others, because you will not always be feeling as tenacious, as resilient as you are today. You'll not always have that discipline, but you need to get back up. And an easy way for you to getting back up is actually being inspired by others. Learn from others through mentorship, learn from others through YouTube itself. use this video as a tool for you to learn from me, right? Learn from others in that particular light. Learn from others through life experience, day-to-day experience in the workplace, within your school environment, whatever it is. Learn from others, and it will help you to do what? It will help you to not give up. It will help you to not give up. Then, of course, document your journey. That's the last point that I have here. Document your journey. It links up with point number 2. That means remind yourself of your why, garner inspiration in your journey. But by documenting your journey, the ups and downs, the roller coaster, the fluctuations, by doing exactly that, you are helping yourself capture the moment. You are helping yourself resonate with your situation and your circumstances in the moment. Then in future, you'll be able in retrospect to reflect, and that will work in your favor in the long run. That's all I have for you today, my starters. I love you, I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one. Cheers.